Hey everyone, this is Jason at Fireplace Blowers. I'm gonna do a quick video here on our FBK-250 kit options. So we get a lot of questions surrounding the two various options that we provide for the FBK-250 kits, which are used primarily in Astria, Lennox, and older Superior fireplaces. So the first option we have here is what we consider our standard FBK-250 model. And you'll notice here that we've got an integrated speed control module. There is a temperature sensor that we've got mounted to a magnetic bracket. And when you unbox this is essentially what you're gonna find. So super simple. And we'll actually walk through how these are actually wired up and installed here in a second. But standard option, again, basic speed control module on a magnetic temperature sensor. The other option that we've got is an OEM configuration. So if you were to purchase an OEM FBK-250 kit, this is how the kit would have been originally configured. This is a more expensive option, but you guys can kind of weigh the benefits and the pros and cons of these guys and decide which option you want. Both kits actually use the same blower and bracket assembly, so we'll walk through what's included with that. So same blower and bracket assembly. The only difference here is that you'll actually see the OEM kit has got the power cord wired already directly to the motor. And the way this kind of works is the blower then plugs into the back side of that outlet, and Jim will show you that here in a second. We'll just turn it around. Receptacle on the back that's got power. And then once the blower is plugged into that outlet, Jim will kind of show you that really quick. From there, then the other loose power cord is connected. And again, let me just pan out really quick so you guys, we're just using a really generic looking fireplace. So this is an old Lennox fireplace. You'll see that there's an outlet in the back. And so what Jim will do here, let's just show you how this is installed really quick. So again, power cord, and then we'll have to make the two connections to show them making. We leave these two motor connections loose just for the sake of shipping so they're not damaged in shipping. There's a white label on the power cord that'll tell you that those two wires need to be connected. They can be connected in any order, so that doesn't make a difference. So connect those. And then the power cord again from the blower is connected to the back of that speed control module. And then the speed control module has its own power cord that's connected into the receptacle that's below your fireplace and available. And then I'll have Jim do it. It'll be easier to have Jim do this, but we'll show you how this speed control module and the blower slide into place. Blower's got two notches in the front of it, and those are kind of like, and again, we've removed everything from the fireplace for the sake of simplicity here. But, and Jim, you'll want to just move that blower so it's aligned to those two tabs.
Yeah.
There's two tabs. They're tough to see in the video, but those two tabs are designed to kind of bend up, fold into those like square notches you see in the kit. Holds the blower in place. You can, or you don't have to necessarily use them. They don't really provide much security to the blower itself. We put really thick, heavy padding on the back of the blowers. I'll kind of show you that here. There's thick padding, Velcro strips. There's also really thick padding on the bottom to prevent any metal on metal contact. The weight of the blower itself with the galvanized bracket and the padding is enough to keep the blower in place. So the tabs are not really required. So if you have a hard time dealing with the tabs, don't worry about it. The blower's not gonna move or walk on you. A couple things about the blower, all ball bearing, 100% ball bearing. So we've got two ball bearings in the motor. There's also sealed ball bearing in the end cap. A lot of the cheaper blowers are using either nylon or brass bushings in those guys, but these are 100% ball bearing. We're using a 14 gauge galvanized steel bracket. So this is a pretty heavy bracket. Even the OEM models and a lot of the aftermarket ones, the cheaper stuff that you'll find on Amazon and eBay, really thin, pliable kind of brackets. These are really sturdy, super well made. We build and assemble, test and package all of these guys here in our Racine, Wisconsin location. We have a support brace on here too, also out of galvanized. That is there with the intention of making sure the chassis of the blower is solidified. It just gives it some rigidity. It prevents any torquing to the chassis, prolongs bearing life. So that's something we always do. I don't think I'm missing anything here. So what I want to do is kind of pan back over to the speed control module, we're going to talk about how this is installed. We get a lot of questions on how this is installed. So if your owner's manual for your fireplace specifically calls for an FBK-250 kit, you can choose the upgraded speed control module on our website as an option, okay? And what you're going to notice is that this box has a lip on it. It's got some mounting holes. Those mounting holes and their placement are kind of critical to the position of your box. And depending on which model fireplace you have, the installation instructions will actually tell you where these go. You'll see a set of holes there. And if I follow this kind of lower trim piece, you'll see more holes. And there's more holes even as we go. And the proper location for that speed control module will depend on which make and model fireplace you have. So read the installation instructions carefully. It'll tell you exactly where it needs to go for your make and model fireplace. So we'll just do it up here in the front so you can kind of get an idea how this slides in and installs. But you just kind of turn that. It gets just positioned. Let's just say that those two holes are the correct position for your model. Now the one thing is, and let me pan down here, you'll see that there's a gap between the sensor and the box. This box is actually designed with a wing nut on the side. Let me show you that. And then you just basically loosen that wing nut. It's gonna allow the housing to basically just slide up and down. So I'll have Jim do that as best as he can here. And you're gonna wanna slide that up until it's actually making physical contact with the bottom of the stove. You can actually go up all the way, Jim, until it hits the bottom. There you go. And it's tough to do with while you're not actually looking at it, but you get the idea. You want that to slide all the way up until it's actually making physical contact with the bottom of the stove. And then just tighten it. And so, very simple. We can supply the couple of mounting screws if need be. Those are normally included with the fireplace and will normally be in the position that is required for your model. So a lot of times you'll actually see those two screws there, and they're kind of like a demarcation point of where that control module needs to be. So super simple. But again, the speed control module essentially places that sensor and box where it needs to go in the fireplace, and just gives you kind of a convenient location for you to control the speed once you've got the lower access panel removed. Whereas kind of the standard model, this box just really sits kind of loose on the floor, and then you just magnetically attach this sensor kind of to a hotspot underneath the fireplace. So it's a little more generic in its installation. Yeah, you can kind of see that's, but at the end of the day, they serve the same purpose. This obviously the generic version of the 250 kit here, our standard version's a little cheaper obviously than these control boxes. These control boxes are very expensive for us to actually manufacture and assemble, which is why the price difference on them is so drastic. So hopefully that helps answer some of the questions. So I know this was kind of not a very well done video, but at least it should give you guys the idea of the two options. And if you got any questions, you can either call myself, my name's Jason, or contact Jim at 262-989-4882 or 262-989-4883, or email us at support@fireplaceblowersonline.com. Thanks again, everyone.